Hello everybody, Kody K again, back for my fourth testosterone shot update. Today is Thursday, August the 6th, 2012. So, first of all, like I said, yesterday I actually had my fourth shot. Today, as you can see, I'm still in my uniform. I had a pretty busy day today. I took a little bit of time out to get a haircut, but otherwise I had a really busy day, and I wasn't sure that I actually was going to get over to get my shot done today, so I went yesterday, or last night. So got that done, and as it turned out, I had a little bit of time around lunchtime, and so I went and saw Brandy to get my haircut. What do you guys think of my new haircut? I like it. It's definitely growing back in. If you guys remember that I shaved it all off Memorial Day weekend. So it's been a few months. It's actually, really finally starting to grow in to where I could actually style it. And again, thank you, Brandy, for doing a great job. I just feel like it really looks like a guy's haircut, so I really like it. Just finishing up week 6, going into week number 7 of being on testosterone. And one of the things that was kind of exciting that happened over these last 2 weeks was I've always had kind of like fuzz, like a light peach fuzz, which most people do, I think, on my face. I actually, my mustache area right here on my upper lip darkened, and I hadn't even really noticed it that much. I hadn't really been paying that much attention. And I was at the Show Me State Rodeo this past weekend, Labor Day weekend, and my co-announcer, Diva Divine, looks over at me because she's, over here on the side, and she goes, "Oh my God, how cute! You've got a mustache growing in." And so, sure enough, I had a mustache. So, it wasn't like this big bushy mustache or anything, boom, like 2 weeks. But it was definitely, you could see that it was darkened right through here. Which was not normal for me, or, that's not my usual. So this morning, being, like a clean-cut gentleman that I am, I shaved this morning. So that was kind of fun. I took a picture when I had the shaving cream on. I wish I would have thought about it when I was actually shaving, like parts of it gone. Or even before I put the shaving cream on, maybe I could have taken a picture and seen if you could see the mustache. But I got a picture of just the shaving cream on. So I'll post that on my website. And yes, finally, my website is up and running. It's www.livingbeyondoxygen.com, and you do have to type in the www, or else it goes to a GoDaddy site and just tells you that the website is parked. So don't forget the www, and then .livingbeyondoxygen.com. It's all one word. I'll write it in the description on this video blog for you. So anyway, I'll put the picture up there, and I'm going to start doing more blogs, written blogs, during the days and stuff as things happen, because sometimes in 2 weeks I forget about stuff, and so I want to keep up with that kind of stuff, and that way, if you're interested, if people want to read that kind of stuff, then they can go to the website and see all that. Otherwise, the video blogs like these, I will continue to post the link on my Facebook page, and then on a couple of the other group, like the IGRA group and stuff like that. So so people can keep track that way too of. If you just want to watch the videos, then you can do that. If you want to do the full meal deal, Kody K transition, then you can come to my website. So, Besides the new haircut and the mustache, one of the things that I've noticed in the last 2 weeks, my breasts have definitely gotten smaller. Um, I can tell really because my binder shirts that I wear are getting kind of loose. They're not as snug as they used to be, and given the kind of material that they're made out of, it's not because they're stretching. You know, they're getting broken in or anything, and they're starting to stretch. I can definitely tell when I look in the mirror that my breasts have gotten smaller. And I guess that's really all, except for my face. Seems like it's filling out a little bit more. Part of it, I think, is that I feel like maybe I'm gaining a little weight. I know I have gained weight, but part of it's going, you know, on my face, not just in my stomach, which is definitely in my stomach, because I used to always say that I had like a 10-speed inner tube spare tire. Now I have like a mountain bike spare tire. So, you know, definitely I don't consider myself fat or anything, and don't be mad at me, you know, because I'm saying that I've gotten a little weight around my stomach. But I can definitely notice it. But I have an appetite, I mean, like crazy. Like, I want to eat all the time, I'm hungry all the time. I remind myself of my little brother when we were in high school. He used to just eat all the time. Oops. So yeah, that's kind of what's been happening with me. So, but otherwise, nothing really much else has changed. One thing I did do this past week, I went down, I went online. I wanted to get my gender marker changed on my driver's license. Because, you know, I use the public restrooms all the time when I go out, and when I'm flying, you know, I'm at the airport, and during the day even. I work, as you can see, I'm still in my uniform. I work as a heating and air conditioning tech, and so, you know, if I don't have to use a customer's bathroom, I try not to, and so I use public restrooms all the time. And so I go to the men's room, and, you know, it's actually, I can actually get arrested for using the men's room if it's clearly marked that it is a men's room, if it's not just a unisex bathroom. So just like a man, you know, a man can get arrested in a woman's restroom, a woman can get arrested in a man's restroom. And technically, I'm still a woman because my gender marker on my driver's license says female. So I asked some friends of mine who have done it, who have had their gender marker changed on their driver's license, how they did it. And they just told me to go online. I can download the form and then go have my doctor fill it out, and then take it to the DMV, and they make me a new driver's license, and then I get it in the mail. So, no big deal. Well, I went online, and I found out that you can't download that form anymore. You actually have to go to the DMV to pick it up. So, still, I thought, okay, well, no big deal. I'll just go down there and pick it up. I'm just picking up a form, right? Thought I'd be able to go to the front desk or something, and they could just give me the form. Well, as it turns out, it's a controlled form. I mean, it's like, you know, national security. I actually had to get a number and sit and wait for my turn. And then as it turns out, like, what I wanted was more complex, I guess, than somebody renewing their driver's license who was going to get a new picture and all that stuff. Because all of those people got to go right into a line, which if I would have gotten to go into that line, I would have been done in 10 minutes. As it was, I was given a number and told to go sit down, and they would call my number. Well, after about 15 minutes, and I was kind of excited because they were on number 21 and I had number 23. So, you know, you go to the DMV, and a lot of times, you know, there's like 50 numbers from what you see up on the screen there and what you have. But I was 2 numbers away, and I thought, okay, well, this won't take very long. So I sat there and sat there and sat there. 15 minutes later, no numbers had been called. They were still serving number 21. So I went back to the lady that gave me the number, and I said, are they calling numbers? What's the deal here? And she said that when the line that I watched, that people were some people were told to go into a line, and I watched that line. All the people that were in the line when I got there had all long since gone, and probably another dozen people since then. So she said, when that line gets short, then we'll call a bunch of numbers and you guys will be able to get in that line. And I'm like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? It's lunchtime. That line's never going to get short. So finally, after about a half an hour of sitting there with my little number 23, and it's still serving number 21, she finally called like 15 numbers. And so I got to go up and get into that line that I've been watching go through. So I finally get up to the front, and it's my turn, and the guy says, what do you need? And I said, I just need to pick up a form. So I tell him the form number and what the form is called, because the website, some other people had posted saying, make sure you know what the form is for, because the people won't know what it is by the form number. And sure enough, he didn't know what it was by the form number. So, but I was prepared, because I said it's whatever it said, medical information authorization or something like that. I think is what it actually says on the form. And then it says gender reassignment or gender classification or something like that on the form. So I told him that, and so he didn't know what it was, and he gets somebody else, and she was like, what is it for again? And so then I had to tell her, and then finally they go to the back room, and they come back out, and he has the form, and I'm like, sweet. So I'm thinking he's just going to hand me the form. No such thing. Like I said, it was like national security. So I had to give him my driver's license, and then he inputted all my driver's license information into the computer saying that I picked up this form. And so all together, it took me about 45-50 minutes to pick up the form. And when I had mentioned, that I thought it was kind of weird that for me to just pick up a form that I would have to wait in line all this long, and he's like, oh, well, did you tell the person when you checked in that that's what you were doing? And I said, yes, of course I did. And he's like, well, she's new. So apparently, I don't know, maybe I didn't have to wait that long to pick up the form. But nonetheless, I have the form. Have an appointment on Monday to go see the doctor, to get her to fill out all of her part, and then I have to go back to the DMV and get in line for them to then take a new picture and then issue me a new driver's license. So I can expect, to take a look, an hour or so more the next time I go back. But it's worth it. I don't have to worry about it when I go to the bathroom. I do stress out a little bit when I go, and that somebody's going to say something, and especially in the airport, I'm really freaked out thinking that somebody's going to say something, and then I'm going to get arrested, and it's a federal offense because it's at the airport, and, I'm going to be thrown in the slammer because I use the men's restroom. So, anyway, crazy. Yeah, the things you don't think about, And then I was talking to my therapist about this, because I have to see somebody to go through therapy while I'm doing the transition. So I was talking to my therapist about it, and he was like, oh yeah, he's like, I've done some research, and there's actually a high incidence of homicides in bathrooms, because guys get freaked out that female to male transitioning girls are in their bathroom and they get beat up and get killed. So that wasn't very comforting. But I'm pretty aware, and I try to be careful, and I have actually walked in a couple of times in restrooms and just didn't feel comfortable with the amount of people that were in there or how it was laid out or something, you know, just didn't seem right, and I turned right around and walked right out. So, you know, that's it. That's my life. Anyway, so getting the gender marker changed on my driver's license will definitely help that, because then I'll just, you know, I won't have to stress about the getting arrested part at least. So I feel good about that. I mentioned earlier that I was at the rodeo in Kansas City over the Labor Day weekend. I hope everybody had a nice Labor Day weekend. I hope you didn't have to labor. It was an awesome weekend. Rodeo always is. And, you know, I have to, again, thank all my friends, all you guys out there that have been so supportive through this whole transition. I really, really appreciate it. And I appreciate the efforts when you accidentally call me Kimberly and you're like, oh, you know, I'm so sorry, Kody, or she, and oh, I'm so sorry, you know, he. And I really appreciate the effort. And, you know, I still catch myself occasionally saying Kimberly, especially if I'm returning phone calls. You know, I've called myself Kimberly for 50 years, so it's hard for me to break the habit too. So I totally understand, and I won't hold it against you, you know, if you slip. And I appreciate the effort when you change it. I really, really do. One of the things, though, that I noticed when I was at the rodeo, because it's a gay event, I'm guessing, I think I've said this before on videos, other people who didn't know Kimberly, there's enough ambiguity of whether I'm a butch lesbian or if I'm a guy, that people will automatically assume that they'll go the butch lesbian route and they'll call me she. And that happened quite often with the concessions people, the EMS guys. They all thought that I was a girl, and so you know, it is kind of weird for me when I want to be identified as a male now, for people like that to be that way. And but you know, that is what it is in that situation still, until I can beef up. Or until my voice drops, I guess, a whole lot, or I start really getting facial hair. I don't know. You know, my little brother is not real hairy, so I don't know if that's going to happen. But, you know, in the everyday world, real world, I call it, I get called sir all the time. So you know, it's not a big deal. But it's just something that I'm willing to go through because I really love the rodeo circuit, and I love announcing at the rodeos, and definitely I'm not going to give that up just because some people are going to still think that I'm a butch lesbian. So anyway, so that's it for this one. Hope everybody has a great 2 weeks, and I will update again on video in 2 weeks. Meantime, I will be blogging on my website, again, www.livingbeyondoxygen.com. And yeah, that's it. So take care. I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Thanks. Bye.